What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today we have to go ahead and discuss something that I think is extremely crucial when it comes to XDefiant. And no, I'm not talking about the netcode, and I'm not talking about, the hit reg. Let me get that stuff out of the way so anybody who, if that's the only thing, if that's your whole personality revolving around XDefiant, you can move on to a different video. You're not going to hear anything about that, today. But I have something else that's been going on within XDefiant that is causing a very rough experience for a mass majority of players. So we have to sit down, discuss, and try to think of a solution to hopefully improve this overall vibe. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. Of course, we mostly post, XDefiant, but as Black Ops 6 gets closer and closer, I think it's a couple of weeks away now from dropping, we are indeed going to be discussing a bunch of stuff with that game, giving a little bit more details on if it's worth hopping into, and of course, we're going to be following all the updates and keeping up to date with Treyarch as a whole. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, subscribe and hit that bell. And we are going to be live streaming again today on Monday, starting at 12 p.m. Eastern time over on Twitch. So if you guys want to catch that stream, hang out with me, and watch me do the camo grind on XDefiant, by all means, you can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, over on Reddit, there is a post by Abhibaru, I believe is how you pronounce your name. Sorry if I just butchered that right now. But it summarizes perfectly what a lot of people are running into. Anyone else matching against stacks way more frequently after the latest update? Well, something seems really changed. The matchmaking used to try to not mix solo and stacks, but after the latest update, it seems it stopped trying. I'm seeing stacks way too often while solo queuing. Now, indeed, I went ahead and tested this out for myself. Every so often I hop on at night, I, go into the game solo, and I want to test out the experience. And for me personally, it's not too shabby. I don't really mind versing 4 stacks, 5 stacks, 6 stacks. It's not the ideal experience. I mean, obviously, you just kind of chalk it up as a automatic loss if you're going to be carrying a whole team. And I think a lot of people already know this. Even the people who are running in, full 6 stacks, when they see a solo, they know. People aren't stupid. We've all been in this situation. We all understand the circumstance. So we get it. But, we just chalk it up as an L, and we just try to fight it off. We have a bunch of competitive players, so, you get to test your skills. But for a lot of the casuals, it's not the most exciting experience. Now, every so often isn't bad because, obviously with no skill-based matchmaking, you never know what you're going to get. Even with the, matchmaking prioritizing, what squad size you're in. It's not always going to guarantee that you verse solos 24/7. Even back in, the OG COD days, you weren't just going to only verse solos, A lot of times in Black Ops 1, COD 4, World at War, you would end up versing people that are, packed together in a stack of 3, 4, 5, 6. It happens. We all get it. But I can confirm that recently, it has been drastically different. I mean, it's not like it's every other game that you're versing, big stacks. It's almost every single game. You're not really getting too much variety. And I know for a fact that there are solos playing this game because when I go live and I start hosting open lobbies, which again, if you guys are interested in hopping into my open lobbies, I got a link to that Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But when I do open lobbies, we're always playing in a 6 stack basically. And I always see solos trickling in. And new names as well. I'm not talking about repetitive names that I see over and over and over again. No, I'm talking about new people coming into the game, low levels, constantly for hours and hours and hours on end. There are solos in this game, ladies and gentlemen. There's solos, there's duos, there's trios, and they're all over the place. I match up with them 24/7. But for some reason, when I hop back into the solo experience and I don't come through with a squad, it's not the same. All those solos and duos and trios are no longer there. They're gone. And instead, I'm being jammed into basically full packed sessions where you're versing 4, 5, 6 stacks. And that does become a little bit irritating every so often, And I've already seen tons of the casual base saying that they don't even want to touch the game right now because, again, the experience just isn't that phenomenal. Now, of course, you have the alternative of going into a full 6 stack, which I always encourage people doing. That's why I always tell people to tune into my stream and, meet everybody, Even when I'm not online and I'm not streaming, our community is pretty tight. People add each other, people are online, and if you ever need a squad, you can just invite one another, even if you don't want to talk or chat and you just want, someone to help you out in the matches, and that's it. People are down to do so. So, although I do encourage others to hop into squads, it's not mandatory, right? The solo playstyle is still indeed a playstyle. I mean, me, myself, I grew up mostly as a solo-loving player. I loved hopping into solo matchmaking back in the OG COD days. It's a mindset that is definitely alive and well and should be respected. So people shouldn't be forced to obviously squad up 24/7. And again, having your every so match of versing a stack isn't shabby, but how it is right now, it's a little too much. Now, I'm going to tell you guys why I think this is occurring here, because as we all know, XDefiant did go through a little bit of a drought when they were trying to get things in order and fixing up the netcode after Season 1 and, trying to get more content within the game. Players did bounce out of the experience, So I personally believe that in order to increase the time, obviously, to get into lobbies, they pretty much went ahead and expanded on their restrictions, right? What they already have in place right now, where solos should be more so prioritized against duos and trios, might have been expanded so everybody can have a good time. Because if you think about it, it's probably not too many people who always run with 6 stacks, right? So for those players, it was probably near impossible to even find any games. It's going to take ages because, once again, the solos, duos, and trios are sticking more together. And then days maybe when there are more, 6 stacks on and it's less solos, maybe it's harder for the solos to be able to find matches to, hop into. So basically, I'm assuming that they loosened up on the restrictions and are allowing for it to blend a little bit more to, once again, increase the rate that you get into matches so you're not sitting there waiting for too long. But I'll be real with you, I think those restrictions could go back to normal. I'm going to be serious, because after seeing the community grow, I've been seeing a lot of new faces. We've been able to complete a lot of community goals as a group effort. The game is definitely showing signs of life, a lot more life than it was before. And I think that we're at almost a comfortable enough spot to, once again, loosen the restrictions and get everything back in order. But regardless, again, I don't know if that's the case. I have no clue. That's just my theory on why, solos are running into this situation. Regardless, the point that must be made here, theories or no theories, is that this has to change, or else a lot of the casual base of this game are going to dip and probably go elsewhere. You need to allow, once again, the no-skill-based matchmaking factor to come into play. But the problem with no-skill-based matchmaking is, once again, yes, it is always random. So there has to be some restrictions for people who are in party sizes of that sort. Not complete restrictions where it's impossible to find one another, and then, on rough days, the queue time takes 2 centuries, but it needs to be enough wiggle room where, people can still connect on slow days, but at the same time, on hot days when it's more frequent, solo players can focus on playing with solo players and duo players or trio players, and then, squads can get like 3-man, 4-man, 5-man, 6-man parties. And of course, on the occurrence, maybe a solo might trickle in, but right now, how it is, it's the complete opposite. It's not just trickling in to, a full squad. It's basically consistently versing full squads all the time. I think that we are in a good enough spot to tighten everything back up. And I don't know. I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section. I want you guys to let me know what your current experience is when it comes to XDefiant, especially if you're a solo player. And I'm telling you from someone who plays in squads, not even as someone who plays as a solo. I hopped into solo matchmaking. I did, and I tested it, and it was, like I said, you versed a lot of 6-mans, or I versed a lot of 6-mans. But even playing as a 6-man party, not playing as a solo, just being in a 6-man party, I noticed so many solos and duos being chucked into my game. It's absolutely insane. It's wild. And I have people constantly, coming into the comments saying, hey, man, I just versed you, GGs, or, messaging me saying GGs. And it turns out that 9 times out of 10, they're always, once again, either a solo or a duo. And I'm blown away. I'm like, are you guys seriously queuing up against me all the time? Like, consistently? Game after game after game? It's pretty wild. And again, I want to know what you guys think down below. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, guys. We post here daily at 8 in the morning Eastern time, mostly XDefiant right now, but you best believe in a couple of weeks, Black Ops 6 is going to be dropping. So we are going to be covering that game, and we're also going to be live streaming that game as well. So guys, don't forget, check out my Twitch channel. I got a link to that down in the description of this video. We stream there pretty much daily besides Sundays, starting at just around 12 p.m. Eastern time. And we are always grinding it out. We always host open lobbies as well. So both with XDefiant and when Black Ops 6 goes into the full access, we're going to be hosting open lobbies, grinding it out, trying to get gameplay. Everybody's welcome. So if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, you guys can check out the link to my Twitch streams down below. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.